Or just maybe they don't know any better. Because if they did, they will know that that can get them hurt. And we're going to talk about that. Boundaries. And you ask yourself, are your boundaries clear? Because if they're not clear enough, they're not respected. That's the conversation we're going to have today. We on the set. Yeah. Yes, welcome. We're back live on set with Irven, where we discuss strategies, execution, and teamwork. And we're talking about boundaries. 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 And I believe that all of us, somehow, some way, in the music, in any industry, sometimes, we struggle with boundaries. How do we navigate through that? How do we find how my lady would say, a happy medium in what's going to be going on in real time? And I believe that nothing's perfect, no one is perfect, but here's some key ground areas where maybe we could find how to strategize and how to execute, and the thought process that we may need to get through situations. And sometimes we catch ourselves, it's really hard to, sometimes it's really hard to make decisions. Sometimes we catch ourselves struggling to make prominent moments resonate. Sometimes we have our thoughts, we get ourselves wrapped up, and we sometimes give that information to others without even knowing if we should give it to them or not. Like looking at me like, he's talking about. Sometimes we struggle with making decisions. And if you're struggling making decisions, sometimes that could be an area of, even for yourself, maybe you don't have any boundaries or anything's lined up that you know that you have to take all the way serious. You have to go with it, even if it's not all the way serious. Sometimes you just have to keep yourself indulged in what you love to do. Sometimes you have to keep yourself indulged in what you love to do in order to find that balance. It doesn't matter. And sometimes when we're struggling with boundaries with ourselves and with people and with situations, sometimes we carry that over. And even if you don't got nothing going on with ourselves right now, sometimes that's the reason why we don't. Because we're struggling to make decisions, and key decisions that you have to make in order to get to the next level. If life is all about levels, you have to ask yourself, are you comfortable with the level that you're on right now? You'd be surprised how many people aren't comfortable with the level that they're on right now. Sometimes they can see themselves at another level, but because they ain't make the decision yet, the universe is not going to permit that other door to open. It's impossible. It's not going to happen. That's what I keep on telling you guys. It's not like, the saying now becomes, life today, the bullshit is taking the elevator, while the truth is taking the stairs. And not being able to make decisions is only holding you back from you showing the world who you really are. No other way of saying it. Another area where we struggle with boundaries When I say we, guys, I say we because I speak collectively for the people. Because I'm not perfect myself, guys, and even with doing this, these are things that I am implementing, even though I know I'm not at my most comfortable space at the moment. I know I'm not as in my zone yet, as you can see. I'm still trying to figure out how I want to sit, how I want to navigate, how I want to communicate, how I want to continue to dress, how I want to change furniture around. I mean, I'm making the hard decisions. And when making the hard decisions, in order for yourself to be right, as I remember, I was talking to you guys, and I believe that's Psalms 23, where we speak of our cup pouring over, our cup runneth over, our abundance, being able to do for others, being able to help those that really need and deserve your help. That's another conversation. You can't feel guilty when you're saying no to the world, because if you continue to give and give and give and give and give, eventually you're going to run yourself tired. And even though you have love for people and you care about people, sometimes we catch ourselves because they may need you. You jump out there real quick saying, I got you, I love you, we're here, present, what you want to do, we here. And even when it don't work out your way, that's when you know it's love, because you can say, like I told you before, things change in projects. Things change. But if you're still able to be your 100% in your small 1%, that's where the conversation change and differentiate you from the rest of the world. See, like I told you, everybody who's watching this is even background for some, because everybody who's watching this or listening to this know that they are on their own purpose. That's a different conversation. You could be rolling with different situations. You could be doing this. You could be doing that. You could be doing all these amazing things. But still, if that's what you define as doing for you, but when you love people and you become a part of these amazing projects, and then it changes, you stay your 100% because you being a part of the process, however you need to be in real time, is what differentiate you from everybody else. But in some other situations, you have to know how to say no, and you have to not feel guilty when saying no, because believe it or not, I get offered a lot of different let's build opportunities, let's see what pops out of this. And sometimes you give a lot of your intellectual property away to some people who don't even deserve it to begin with. And that's why you have to be don't ever jump in and say yes unless it's life threatening or life situations that occur that deal with family. Everything else gets the hard, I'm not sure yet, I don't know what's going on. Sometimes I'm already maybe set up in other situations. So it's never going to be a quick yeah. Unless I'm right there on the spot and able to do so, then that changes the conversation. But overall, in real time, it's usually a hard no until further notice, or being able to get enough information that makes me want to be a part of these situations, which makes me want to allow people within my boundaries to even get a part of what I'm even implementing into the universe. And you'll be surprised how many people aren't really putting it solely into the universe. It's all just these rambunctious ideas until further notice. And I don't know how many people that will know how to navigate in that form, but for me, it's not going to work. I can tell you that off the rip. It's not going to work. Sometimes, believe it or not, we'll catch ourselves apologizing for no reason. I never understood that because I caught myself at plenty of times in my earlier days apologizing, and I was trying to understand where it came from. I was trying to understand, like, yo, why am I apologizing for being honest, or why am I apologizing for keeping it real? Why am I apologizing for maybe feeling as if I didn't do enough? That can't be it. Because I go hard in the paint, right? So it made me reset, made me realize that you can't be out there apologizing for nothing. You have to be very, very mindful about telling people that you're sorry. What are you sorry for? What did you do? Did you do anything? If you didn't, then why are we sorry? Some are able to empathize, some are able to sympathize, some are able to do both, which is rare. And I know some of you guys who are listening and watching this, you guys are one of those. You're one of those that's able to do both. Connect, relate, adapt, adopt. Connect. Don't be out there apologizing for no reason. There's no reason to be out there apologizing for no reason. If life is that serious, build a wall around yourself high enough to figure out who you are. So when you come out from behind those walls, you can know what time it is, and they can know what time it is, and know that you aren't anything to be with. But you have to set boundaries. You have to let people know that if I'm hot enough and you get close enough, might get burned. We're live on the set. Strategize, execute, find your team. In the meantime, in between time, I'm going to tell you guys, get those EPKs together. What I'm saying is, contact us, get that part of your life figured out, and keep on moving on with everything else. Why? Because life is going to keep on going, and it's not going to slow down. We're going to commercial. We're on the set. See, I love music and creators, and I want you to have a studio, but I don't want the studio to have you. And that's why you need to get in contact with Sumlar Entertainment to make sure that you do this right the first time. These guys are officially unapologetic. They help you get on the smartest studio budget plan because they're committed to doing what's right for the sole purpose of that project. That means that they're constantly checking in daily to make sure that you are doing what you said you want to get done. They'll show you equipment that's beneficial to where you need to get done. Sometimes we struggle with what we want versus what we need, and that's now going to be a thing of the past going forward. In a nutshell, these guys actually care. That's why we call them Governor Trusted. Those thoughts you have in the back of your head, let's finally get them out to the world. And the good folks at Sumlar Entertainment is here to help. So, photo shoots, headshots, aerial imagery, video, as well as music production. Do not wait any longer. Please, give them guys a call. And congratulations. You're one step closer to the rest of the world being able to see what you're thinking. I'll see you in the studio. Peace. You know I tell you, you'd be surprised how many people I know don't know how to share properly, don't know how to share the information properly with others. You'd be surprised how many people are sharing the wrong information, sharing the right information to the wrong people, sharing the wrong information to the right people, f***ing it all up. They don't know the right ways to share with people. And you'll sit back and you have an amazing idea. You have an amazing idea. You'll share it. You'll get hit with so many different, can you do this? And that's probably not even possible, and it's only because they can't think that way. When you're going through boundaries, you're not here to share your ideas with everyone. You got to get it solidified. You have to know that this is something that you are doing with and or without anyone. And it's a true dedication. It's a true sacrifice, because you'll realize that a lot of people aren't really built to do these type of things. These things don't come easy. This is a hustle. So you gotta be very, very mindful sharing your ideas with people, because though you want to see everyone around you and those around you prosper, you want to make sure that you don't hinder any regret internally. Because sometimes, you listen, sometimes you may give an idea, and sometimes it may be something that you're working on also, and you never get to the finish line of that, because sometimes when you give the idea away, you expect another person to maybe follow suit. And sometimes you got to be the one that keep things moving in order for them to know to follow suit. And you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised how many things don't follow suit. And I know you guys know. If you care to share, put it inside the comment. Tell us. What is it? What are some of the things that you wanted, that you got so right there to wanting to do, or getting in the process of getting done, and guess what? Poof, it doesn't happen. Because that's what happens, like we was telling you. Sometimes you're going to go through your 1,000 tries. You're going through your 1,000 tries. You're figuring out life. And sometimes, you're going to give information out that you don't supposed to. And sometimes it's great, sometimes it isn't. But just be very, very mindful about what information you're sharing with others, because you don't want to get into the habit of sharing information to people just because they can't do it. They're giving you the look, and then now you are internalizing it and personalizing it and making it about them versus what you got started and put here to do in the first place. These are real life conversations. And I know a lot of people out there can relate. I know a lot of you guys out there can relate. Don't share more. Do not share more information than you need to at times. Just don't. Until further notice. Sometimes when you're talking with people, start taking notes. If you're talking on your headphones or you're on an iPhone, open up your notes. Start putting it in the notes so you know how to follow up with people and know how to navigate and knowing where to put them in real time, because these are conversations worth having so you know how to be going forward. This isn't play talk. Now, there's also a saying that goes, you can do for a person 1,000 times, and that one time you're not able to, they look at you as if you're crazy. And that ain't got nothing to do with you. It ain't got nothing to do with you. A lot of people gonna go out there and act passive aggressive and act as if, they're more than what they really are. And that ain't got nothing to do with you either. You got to know how to navigate in this world, and this is what life is about, getting tested. People wanting to try to see if you've matured also. I used to have my lady tell me, you're acting passive aggressive, and I look it up and say, well, I don't feel as if what I did was passive aggressive. What I felt my approach was direct, honest, passionate, because men like myself, we only giving the tools and the jewels to people who actually deserve it. But this can be out there just giving the information to everybody. Because believe it or not, everybody can't win. Everybody can't go with us. Everybody is not going to grow at the same capacity. It's impossible. Everybody's not going to grow at the same capacity. And being aware of that gives me a peace of mind, because that's why I'm able to learn from people, because they have more information than me. They have more knowledge than me. They're more expertise. They know how to exercise their positions of power. And it's the same with me. I know how to navigate in certain worlds where I'm able to be a certain way and be compassionate and be caring enough, and not, we're aggressive people though, but be aggressive as in taking control of a situation when necessary. And that is a gift. And that isn't something that you should feel any way negative about, because everybody is not able to walk in a room and speak. Everyone's not able to walk out of a room and speak. Everyone's not able to navigate in the world without losing their integrity. I'm praying for you people out there who's a part of things while losing your integrity. It's not healthy. It's not honest. It's not showing compassion for yourself when you lose your integrity. You should have an internal integrity clause that you don't break for no one. And you'd be surprised how many people out there are losing themselves. And I still pray for you guys, because sometimes you know not what you're doing. And sometimes you do. And for those that do, because you deserve to not be where we are, because we didn't lose ourselves in the process. And for those who are losing themselves, find yourself. Spend more time looking at yourself. Like I tell you guys, you can't be you a little itty bit. You gotta be you all the way through. You gotta be you to the fullest, baby. You gotta smell, look, see, exude who you really are. And if you believe being passive aggressive about life is going to have you exceed being considered, we go to commercial. Get your EPKs, 333's on the way. The Lost Boy Project. I've been in the studio recording. I am saying a lot. A lot's happening. The project is coming along. Projects, plural. If you're like most creators, then being original is one of your most valuable assets. And once you're ready to make huge improvements, it can feel as if everything costs too much or just takes too long. But something as simple as updated headshots from Sumlar can separate you from what everyone else is still doing. Those you have industry standings with recommended Sumlar for years, so you know the job's gonna get done successfully and at a low cost. Especially when those extra dollars have to go to something else in the budget like lighting, aerial shots, and literally almost everything that's labeled in-house studio requirement. With free consultation, you can ask questions that can assist with what makes the most sense. Once you're not able to think about the financial factors, the creative process becomes easier to complete, and that's why Sumlar is one of the best and one of the most affordable on the East Coast. Plus, no misleading quotes, no hidden fees, everything backed up, satisfaction guaranteed. Come see why Sumlar Company is one of the most connected, and now protect what's worth protecting. And I'll see you guys in the studio. Peace. Welcome back, live on set with Irven, where we discuss strategies, execution, teamwork. Today we're discussing boundaries. What are boundaries? How do you navigate around boundaries? Please like, share, subscribe. Put in the bottom, I need to know, how do you navigate with your boundaries? What are your strategies? How are you navigating through? As I tell you guys, this platform, each one teach one. With that being said, some of us are really struggling with who we really are. Sometimes we're more for others than we are to ourselves, and that is an area of boundaries that a lot of people struggle with. Struggling with who we really are. Like I tell you guys, you have to look in the mirror. You have to be comfortable and be content and be cool with who you see first and foremost. Nothing else. Who you see. Like I tell you guys, every day's not perfect, but when you wake up, you look in the mirror, you exude the best you that you can be. You be you to the fullest. And you'd be surprised, a lot of us are struggling with who we are. In our teens, in our 20s, in our 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. Struggling with who we really are. And I wonder where that come from. Why it happened. Even with things I got going on right now with myself, I'm figuring out, I'm figuring out who I am. And a lot of people are struggling with taking risks, taking a chance, trying new things, changing up their style, their thought process, their trying to be more honest with who they are. You'll be surprised how many of us are not honest with who we really are. And we're not liking who we really are. We struggle with some of us can't tolerate. Some of us cannot tolerate people not liking us. I don't give a f. I don't care. But there's people out there in the world that struggle with people not liking them. People don't like us. People don't like me, so I gotta navigate a certain way so that I don't offend people. I don't get on people's nerves. I don't make people feel a certain way. I don't ruffle any feathers. Sometimes you gotta ruffle the feathers. You might catch yourself in the thought process, locking doors and setting the on fire. You gotta have a desire to let people know not to mess with you. People have to know that you stay dangerous in the thought process. To know, just to know, to get close enough to maybe not want to touch the fire. A lot of people look at fire and be amazed by the colors and the flame and the unbeknownst. A lot of feeling comes along with that touching. A lot of A lot of you figuring out survival tactics. Listen, kids, I've seen some things. Who cares if people like you or not? Listen, folks, who cares if they like you or not? Listen, homies, who care if they like you or not? Listen, my brothers, who care if they like you or not? Listen, my sisters, who care if they like you or not? Listen, my daughter, who care if they like you or not? I call my boys son because they shine like one, not because they're under me. Everybody that's around me is supposed to shine, glow, show the world that you one of one, showing the world that you different. I salute those who are aiming to be better than yesterday, because a lot of you guys think mediocre because you guys want everybody to accept, like, and respect and appreciate and love you. You can't be loved by everybody. You can't be liked by everybody. You can't be tolerated and or celebrated. This world's too big. When you know who you are, when you know who you are, you embrace the inevitable. Word. When you start learning who you really are, you embrace the inevitable. You start going through all types of worlds and favors and situations and things you wasn't even expecting to even experience. That's the universe giving you something, showing you something. Something is happening. How you get around it is the conversation. And what you can't do is feel resentful about things that's going on. You just can't. You can't be resentful about it. You got to know how to navigate. You got to know how to pivot. You got to know how to sit down. You got to know how to reset. Have to learn how to listen. You got to do what you have to do and focus. Oh, my nose is itching. You got to do what you have to do and focus on you. You got to handle your business. And if you're handling your business, you don't have time to be resentful about anything because you're doing what you got to do for you. And you'll be surprised, man. Tell you guys, you'll be surprised how many of y'all out there resentful because people are putting their best foot forward. Sound like a bunch of all I do is show love. I do the real check-in. I do real big dog things. Like I was talking to my boy Maine. Shout out to M6. He was giving me his top 3. And he added me as one of those 3. And I was all the way taken back, man. I was humbled by it because he's a real near and dear friend of mine. And knowing that I'm looked at as somebody who's trying and consistent and putting his best foot forward and aiming and also showing that there is another level to this. And the men that he mentioned are phenomenal kings, guys that I actually seen grow, guys that actually grew with. Chad Kojo, I love you guys. I see you guys. M6, artist, lyricist, wordsmith. Because we jack of all trades. And believe it or not, look out for the music because a lot of music from him. A lot of things going on with Doughboy Sums. A lot of things going on with Cappyland. A lot of things are going on with guys that I know that got things going on. Consistency is the key. However you roll the dice. As long as you don't stop working, you ain't stop working, right? Right. Exactly. We live on set. Strategies, execution, team. Who's your team? Shout them out. Show love when I come through. We out here. Music is going. And we got a few more things to talk about. Believe that. Yeah. If you're looking for ways to update your electronic press kit without blowing the budget, figured it out for you. For years, we've been figuring it out here at Sumlar Entertainment. As a music artist, I get that we all have humble beginnings and all start from somewhere that made us passionate about expressing what's inside. Sumlar Company makes it simple to get those necessary industry standard headshots, aerial images, as well as candid moments from a space that doesn't require you to be anyone but yourself. With Sumlar, there's no need to continue putting out those parts of your project that can change your life and others for an eternity. We all need different perspectives to each project to see if it moves at full capacity. Look, we're at the end of 2023, and those headshots you have from COVID are now a thing of the past. Reach out to us. Quite sure there's always something that we can be worked out. So for photo shoots, headshots, aerial images, video, as well as music production, do not wait any longer. What's the worst that can happen? Is that something's gonna actually happen, all right? Peace. Rebel to the grain, there's no way to barricade me. Some of y'all are tired because y'all just don't got anything else better to do with yourselves. You ever think about it like that? Huh? You ever think about it like that? Maybe you're tired because you ain't finding better things to do with yourself. How many people are here around me? Oh, I'm tired. Oh, I'm exhausted. Got pinched nerves getting epidural shots. I'm still working. Still figuring it out. Gotta figure it out. No one's saying you gotta work 24 hours, 7 days a week, because that's impossible. You need sleep. What they say? 8 hours to your work, 8 hours to your sleep, 8 hours to your community. Be surprised how they ain't no rollover hours. But we still figuring out ways on how to roll hours over. And there's not enough hours in the day. It just isn't. So we feel tired all the time because sometimes we're exhausting and we don't have our 24 hours mapped out. You need to have your 24 hours mapped out. Even if you have it for going throughout the week. Have your week. Have your 24 hours 7 times mapped out. Have your sleep to some degree mapped out. Have your life mapped out. Strategize your life, execute it, and you'll be surprised how all these different things start falling into place. You need sleep. I hear people say all the time, oh, I sleep when I'm dead. Well, pushing yourself there a whole lot quicker, yeah? Don't supposed to do that. You have to do better. Have to take pride in yourself. Gotta put the work in. But you can't drive yourself crazy. You can't drive yourself crazy. And you can't always get what you want. But you're probably tired because you're not being consistent in what you need to do. Because when you wake up with a purpose, you wake up knowing that you got something to focus on, and that's what keep you alive. That's what keep you alive. Knowing that you can open your eyes and focus on something is what is keeping the passion alive. And once you lose the passion, That's when your relationships tend to be difficult. That's when your relationships tend to be very, very difficult because you're forcing it versus allowing it to nurture it and build with sincerity and compassion and all the things that you're supposed to be focused on with yourself anyway. So when you're focusing on yourself and you're doing it, it's a beautiful thing, because then when you align yourself with those that are doing the same thing, it allows your ideas to nurture, to grow, to be a seed that's planted into the universe, that's getting watered, that's getting light implemented onto it, that's allowing it to root, to show and expand and give more of what the thought process is. And that's in every field. That's in every field, any field you think of. In education and technology, in music, in modeling, in architecture. We have to be fed something by somebody before us in order for things to grow. Whatever it is. But you have to know your boundaries, how to set yourself up to know that people just can't implement themselves how they want. They have to implement themselves how they need. And you just can't be having yourself implemented in people's things how you want. You have to be implemented how you need. And as we say, things change, people change. But if you keep your integrity, it'll feel the same. We're live on set. And knowing your boundaries is important. Because once your relationships are becoming difficult to navigate in, you have to ask yourself, what am I doing wrong? You have to ask yourself, what am I not understanding? What am I watering? How am I nurturing it? Am I giving it the attention it deserves? Align yourself. Align your chakras. 7, number perfection. Get to understand the levels and what they stand for. And as you do, you realize some of those things you were struggling with wasn't a struggle. Small hiccups. Things that you're supposed to reset on, no problem. Because you're able to do that. You focus. Balancing out. And knowing that boundaries are important. And if you set your boundaries and they step over them, you could align them. And if they just perpetual boundary steppers, don't be around those overstepping their boundaries around you, you heard me? Because that ain't safe. And we pray for those. And as I tell you guys, for what's going on in my life right now, I got a lot of things going on in my family in this last quarter. So my prayers is going out there to my family. I lost a very, very important aunt to myself. I got cousins. We all got things going on. You guys are in my prayers. I love you guys. Aunt Pat, rest in peace. Thank you for being able to implement your knowledge and your intellectual property on me. As you see, I know I made you proud because I was able to stand the test of time and able to hold it down. And as you tell me to hold my family down, I do my part when necessary. Craig family, stay strong. You guys are not alone. Use your manpower. Irv is here, praying with you guys. And life is a short visit, man, so you make it last and you make your mark. As my aunt would say, put God first, nothing can go wrong. We live on the set. Get with Irv. Strategize. Find how you execute. Find out what your team is. And as you tell you guys, if you're a one-man band, technology is your team. I'm going to stand with my people by saying cancer. And anybody who ain't standing up for something is falling for anything. Like I told you guys, this game is filled to the brim with a bunch of unrealistic and you have to pick a side. And I'm praying that whatever side you pick is the right side. Love yourself first and foremost. You ain't loving yourself first and foremost, I don't know why you even trying in the first place. We on the set.